Believe it or not, there are even more weapons in Fallout New Vegas than in Fallout 3. In addition to more weapons, you can also mod them to your heart's content. But what if you wanted to beat people to death with a golf club? Can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only a 9-iron? The rules are simple. I can only damage NPCs with a 9-iron, and I can't use speech to pacifist the entire game. That's boring. Speaking of mods, I used over 400 mods during this playthrough. If you don't like that, feel free to dislike the video and unsubscribe. After recovering from a shot to the head, I awaken Doc Mitchell's house with no idea who I am. I pick a new name and recreate myself to the way I always wanted to be, Natasha. I start assigning my special stats and pick my tag skills. 10 in strength to be able to hit harder, and 10 in endurance to be able to take another punch to the head by a high caliber bullet. 1 in charisma because I won't be talking my way out of combat. As for tag skills, it should be obvious that I chose melee weapons. I also decided to pick heavy-handed for more damage rather than more critical damage. Hardcore and Wild Wasteland were chosen. After speeding through my character creation, I steal everything from Doc Mitchell's house, and for some reason, I drop it all on the ground before I leave. I still don't know what I was thinking. Note that I stole it. Normally you can just take it. In my last run, I also had a problem where stealing meant nothing. I don't care enough to go through my 400 mods to figure out why this happened. Finally, out into the wasteland, I beeline it straight for an abandoned shelter that has a weapon of my choosing. After acquiring the golf club that I'll be using for the rest of the run, I head outside and get ambushed by a bunch of angry rad scorpions. I try to fight them but end up just dying in the process. Instead, I fast travel back to Goodsprings and meet up with Ringo and start the Ghost Town gunfight quest. I died a few times here but managed to complete the quest. The Power Gangers seemingly hate me now. Keep this in mind. After making my way to Prim, I meet up with Johnson Nash and tell him the package I was supposed to deliver was stolen, only for the game to crash. Again, maybe 400 mods is too many, but who cares? It just works. When heading to the Mojave outpost to repair my 9-iron, this happened. After Major Knight duct taped my broken club back together, I fast traveled back to Prim and rescued Deputy Beagle. I am skipping over a lot of walking to make this video not over an hour long. I reported to Lieutenant Hayes to tell him that Prim is now under NCR rule. As I re-enter the Bison Steve Hotel, something very strange happened. Something I've never seen before in any of my playthroughs. After leaving, the trash can vanished. I still have no idea what caused that to happen. Furthermore, on the way to Nipton, I somehow got my 9-iron stuck in my chest. This game is beyond weird at this point. Maybe it's one of my many mods, but I've never heard Oliver Swanek say this line. I promptly beat him to death anyway. I found Boxcars, and after talking with him, I went to investigate the noise upstairs. I got obliterated before I even knew what happened. After reloading a save, I just leave the room and meet up with Femboy Wolpez. I totally forgot I had this mod still installed. Whoops. He gives me the opportunity to spread the word of what happened here. When fast traveling back to the outpost to spread the atrocities that the Legion did to Nipton, it seems I was not the only one to get attacked by rad scorpions, as Sergeant Kilborn nearly died to a stinger before I got the chance to tell him the news. After getting some sweet experience from Ranger Ghost, I remember I still need to clear the ants from the road. Despite the weird FOV glitch with VATS, the iron is more than capable of handling the ants. When turning in the quest to Jackson, he gives me stuff I can't use or sell. I could probably sell for a pretty penny, but my barter skill is way too low, so I don't bother. As I cross the border into Nevada, I get ambushed by a group of Viper gang members. I survive the ambush and come across a group of Legion soldiers. Not sure who I'm siding with yet, I end up following them back to the tents. Finally, arriving at Novak and not wanting to waste any more time, I immediately get the bill of sale from Genie's safe. And as I'm leaving, I notice the Vipers follow me to Novak and are firing on the locals. I try to intervene, but most of the Vipers are already dead by the time I reach them. After that shootout is over, I meet up with Vanny Marges and try to progress the next part of the quest. I could just go straight to Benny from the start, but I wanted to try to not skip too much this time. Since I'm here, I decided to get the red beret that Boone is using by positioning Jeannie May in front of the dinosaur. I never planned on getting Boone as a companion because he'd one-shot enemies before I even got a chance to see them, much less hit them with my club. I also decided now would be a good time to clear out the Repcon Air and Space Facility. By clear out, I mean clear out. I wasn't planning on doing Bright's stupid mission, so I killed them all instead. An hour later, I decided to break into Helios 1 and start the Lucky Sun quest. I would not be setting with the NCR this time, as I wanted to change it up a bit. The only noteworthy thing I did for the next hour or so was push an NCR soldier into a bear trap and steal her uniform. When I got to the mainframe, I wanted to activate Archimedes 2, but I lacked the repair skill necessary to repair the generator. Oh yeah, and I guess I went to Boulder City too. Didn't do much there besides off, chest up, and leave. I finally leveled up and was able to repair the generator. Now this is where the fun begins. After absolutely eviscerating the soldiers in the solar field, I made my way to Freeside to gamble until I get kicked out. And immediately lose all my chips, because I forgot to turn off the max bet. Whoops. And after gambling till I am not kicked out, I realized I forgot to also turn off no casino bans. Now with nearly 20,000 caps to my name, I waltz into the New Vegas trip and head straight for Mr. House. You may be wondering who I'm siding with today. Since I already eviscerated most of the NCR at Helios 1, and I don't want to side with Yes Man again, I figure the best choice of action is to meet up with Mr. House. Face to face. What, did you just think I would forget about the challenge I could do in Fallout New Vegas? A challenge that started this whole run? Of course not. I wanted to beat Mr. House with a 9-iron.
What in the goddamn?
Now that Mr. House is out of the photo, there is just one faction I've yet to mention. That's right, it's the Legion this time around. After convincing Benny to meet me in his room, I head straight there and not kill him in his sleep. Instead, I let him flee to the fort so I can meet him there later. I plan on crucifying him. When heading outside to make my way to the fort, Lopez gives me the Market Kaiser. The closest destination to the fort is a Legion Rage camp, but when I arrive, something very strange happens. I thought my reputation was low enough that the NCR would send a hit squad to my location, but for some reason, they send a ranger to give me a radio. The ranger would die, respawn, and keep dying, and keep respawning until he would finally be able to give me the radio. Hours into this run, I finally meet up with Kaiser himself, the man, the myth, the legend. He instructs me to destroy all the Securitrons below the fort. I happily oblige. With the final generator destroyed, I make my way back to Kaiser and finally get to crucify Benny. If you thought this was nearing the end of the game, you are fucking wrong. I still have hours to go into this run. To put this in perspective, when I meet George, I have already recorded 5 hours. After dying many times to the boomers, I meet up with Pearl and complete their quests. Doctoring, listening to the kid, and finally the bomber. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this, so I'm going to skip over a lot of stuff I did. When that is finally done, I meet up with Kaiser again. This time he wants me to turn the white gloves back to cannibals. I think I may have bugged this quest out, but whatever. Kaiser doesn't really care at this point, and neither do I. The next assignment Kaiser tasks me to do is to destroy the Brotherhood bunker. I forget to mention in the rules that I cannot have any companions, and god damn, this was a fucking pain in my ass. When failing the quest Still in the Dark, the Brotherhood immediately turns hostile. They have big energy weapons, and I have a fucking golf club. Fuck this part of the run. After approximately 45 minutes or so failing to destroy the bunker, I finally make it out alive. Finally done, I meet with Kaiser knowing the end of the game is fast approaching. Talking with Kaiser, I tell him he has a tumor and it needs to get removed as soon as possible. With my medicine skill as high as it is, I'm easily able to remove the tumor and save Kaiser. Oh, how can I forget the Arizona Killer mission? I need to make sure Aaron Kimmel doesn't finish his speech, but this was very tricky. I managed to off him with a sneak attack critical, and now that I am permanently on the NCR hit list, I flee back to the fort and start the final battle. Now, very close to the end of the game, I take my trusty golf club and beat as many soldiers as I can with it. Little did I care for the durability of the club, I just wanted it to be over. I should have made some repair kits or something, because when I met General Oliver, my club was low on durability. But by the time I was done, well, let's just say it was useless in a fight. That's right. My club broke before I was able to kill the last soldier. After smacking the hell out of the last ranger, I realized my club was broken. After 7 hours and 30 minutes, I did not beat Fallout New Vegas with only a golf club, but I got pretty damn close.